Hello and welcome, my friends. Welcome to your full buck moon reading. I know I'm doing this a day early. However, I wanted you guys to have an extra day to get ready and have all those tools primed and, well, prepped. Some of us are really struggling right now, and I didn't want to blast you with the full moon as that full moon energy came in. Now, thankfully, the full buck moon is rising in Capricorn, so we are going to have a very stable energy to play around with this full moon. And of course, the full buck moon is called the full buck moon because this is when those little bucks have their little antlers coming out and they're starting to buck and, clank their heads together and try to get the little fuzz off their antlers. We're seeing the growth. We're seeing things start to emerge and come forward. And I couldn't think of a better deck than the Northern Animal Tarot. I love this deck. It's a favorite of mine. It's great to use. I love the imagery. I love the color, and it's a very gentle but blunt deck. And then this is the Everyday Witch Familiar deck. I love the Everyday Witch Familiar. The Everyday Witch series is one of my, again, faves. I have a lot of favorites, I won't lie. All right, let's get into this. Let's see what the full buck moon has in store for you guys. Now, of course, the full moon rises in its height on Thursday. However, of course, tomorrow we're going to be able to start to embrace it, and we'll have this energy available to us and around us until Saturday. So we've got some time with it, and I really enjoy that fact because this is an action moon. The full moon gives us that action. And apparently you guys have a lot of action. I think this is why usually I will move my tool from a Tuesday if this happens, but I just was like, no, I got to do the moon on the Monday and the tool on the Tuesday. All right. Now, this deck was a Kickstarter years and years ago. She's on, I think, the 3rd or 4th edition of this deck. So I do have some oracle cards. And there's a little ghosty there. We have the Knight of Wands. Oh, we have another one. This is kind of a pod or seed bulb that's starting to grow. We have, this is the Five of Cups. The Page of Wands. Running out of table space. The Seven of Wands. And then we have the Six of Pentacles. It's in reversal as well. So part of why we needed to be able to have this reading early, like I said, is I thought it was going to be more tools and getting things prepped so that you feel ready. However, this is more about the balance, that energy piece. It's more about being able to take that action. We've got the Knight of Wands. He's all about that passion, that zest, that fulfillment. We've got his younger sibling with him. The Page of Wands talks about that excitement, that enthusiasm. Again, for that fulfillment, that passion. We're not really feeling it though. Our energies are all off. Either we're not giving to ourselves enough, we're giving to others too much. There's some sort of imbalance there. Additionally, many of us are not grounding ourselves well. We're just getting up, going to our day, and not thinking about what it is that we're dealing with, what it is that we're asking of our body, our mind, and our soul. And many of us, this is kind of, when you have a group reading, it's a little bit, there's a lot of options here. So either you have a fight that you're dealing with that is actual and there's a lot going on, or you're perceiving that there is going to be a fight when there isn't. And sometimes we're just fighting ourselves because we're so exhausted and frustrated. We've been focusing for too long on stuff that isn't fulfilling us, stuff that is just taking away from us. The original card that Pamela Coleman Smith drew had red and green and brown stuff coming out of these cups. That toxic bleh. We're not focusing in on what's going to give us that joy, that fulfillment. Again, balance. And it's not that we're doing it intentionally. This is more about something subconscious that we're like, yeah, but the could'ves, the should'ves, the would'ves. We keep focusing in on that, and we're not going to be able to embrace these pieces that are going to come forward. We're going to be embracing the sad and the fears. Yet when we look at this card, it's hard to see, but there's kind of little feet underneath. Kind of a tree feet, if you will. Things aren't always what we see. These little orby bits are symbols. Like when you take a photo, when you get that, sure, it could be glare off something. But a lot of times that's an angelic reflection, the angel coming forward. Those are angelic orbs. Things aren't always as scary as we think they are. It's going to be looking past the fear, looking past the sad, and looking at the heart. What's happening for you? What's important for you? And that's the big piece of the full buck moon, is encouraging you to take action, connect with those important, fulfilling aspects. Like I said before, many of us are kind of stuck in that kind of groundhog rinse and repeat day. Breaking it up so that you can start to see through the illusion and uncertainty, and you can start to connect in with what's going to support you, what's going to be meaningful for you. Is it all going to happen in the next 5 days? No, because we have more aspects that are uncurling and starting to poke their head above and start to continue to grow. And that's the big piece. We always plant seeds, and there's always that ongoing process of connection. Now, we do need to be aware that because so many people are running on, well, empty, low, dry, that there's a lot of reactivity. We're also seeing that in the 7 as well, with that reactivity adding in to the fear and the sad, which causes individuals to be very combative, reactive, and snarky. None of that's going to be helpful for you. Please do not hold on to what others are sharing, pushing, vetting onto you. Nice ways to deal with that. So if you have to go to school or work or even to the grocery store and things get heavy and gunky, when you get home, take a quick shower. Or when you're at work or at school or out in the community and things are really hard, run your hands under the water. Any water. It helps with that negative feedback loop, because we get caught up in this kind of funny loop of fear, sad, the emotional reactivity. You react to others the same way they react to you, and it just adds fuel to the fire. You don't want that. You need to be very mindful of how you're setting yourself up, especially for next week, as next Friday is Mercury in retrograde, which is going to add a lot more combative, reactive energy into your day and world. You don't want to set yourself up in a fire state. And we do have a lot of fire here. So making sure that that anger and frustration remains under control, because we do have that night energy. Nights are great, bold, courageous, that go and well, go big, go home energy. Unfortunately, they don't have a lot of filter, nor does the page. They need that direction. We don't have a parent, aunt, or uncle on this spread. We have these two minors running around. We react badly now. Next week's going to be a lot harder. And the weeks to come, because next week Mercury goes into retrograde, let alone the whole retrograde itself. So making sure that you do have that balanced, stable energy going into next week as things start to get harder, as communication starts to get really dicey and wonky. Just remember to use your head. I know we don't have any air sign here. We don't have any swords. However, using your head will help you control and maintain those two wild and crazy children that can and will cause mayhem. They're great for a while, but without a little bit of coaching and prompting, there can be some, caught it, some challenges. And you don't want to add more challenge to the exhausted state that you're in. All right. We have chameleon, fire. Now, chameleons do change. They change their color. And we're adding more fire here. That passion's very important. Be mindful of how you are changing for others and whether or not you're staying true to you. You don't have to look at doing anything different. An awareness helps. The one thing that keeps coming up a lot all through my readings and through this year is that connection to self. So have an awareness. Know that you'll need to keep doing it, because adding change right now would be too much. This is more about really connecting into the fulfillment piece for you. And well, that fulfillment is that soul song, that self song. So be aware. Rooster, fire. Lots of fire. Take time this week, my friends. So I know sleep is a challenge for many of us because, well, North America, we've got sun early and late. And yes, you need that sleep. However, make sure you're getting up, giving yourself time for those passion pieces, for those things that make you feel good. It doesn't have to be a long period of time. A little bit goes a long way, and it can help with that energy. Woohoo, finally. Air bat. Part of the awareness that I picked up in the chameleon comes in really big with the bat. They use sonar like waves, to tell them where they're at. We need to know where we're at. How are we changing? What do we need to do for others? How do we react to others? Knowledge is going to be an important part going forward. So I would have a little, some paper in a binder. And if it's too much, get some sticky notes and then you can put it in the binder later. Just make sure you have a system to keep that knowledge very clear and together. I would avoid technology because when we are in a state of kind of flux with lots going on, kind of feeling a little bit of and then we're feeling really kind of sad, and then we spike with fear and excitement, anger, we can fry technology quite well. Not to mention the fact that Mercury in retrograde's coming up, so technology is not going to be our friend next week. Earth, habit. We need to be grounded. Rabbits, of course, are one of the most fertile animals on the planet. Fertility does not mean always making babies. It's just making something. Creation. That creativity is coming forward. Not only the passion pieces, but also those pieces of creation. Additionally, when we do give ourselves that time to create, it gets us out of the cycle of the what ifs and the oh my gods and the coulda, shouldas, wouldas. And it gets you into the present moment, which helps you problem solve because it becomes almost like a meditative state. Heron, water. Again, here we have a good kind of more of a balanced energy. Yes, it's heavy with the fire, but the passion is what's really missing. And also, which will help to rebalance some of that funky energy that you're feeling. The heron reminds us that we don't have to stand in and immerse ourselves. We can dip our toes into things. We can have some fun with it. It can be something that we stand in and enjoy for refreshment. We can splash and play. We need it. It's a very intuitive, healing element. We're carrying a lot. We need to start to heal from some of this. And no, you don't have to do extra stuff. Giving yourself that time with that element will help. And my friends who've been with me for a while will know that I'm going to say intentional bathing will help a lot. So before you take your shower or your bath, ask any and all high vibrational beings to come in and help clear you from some of this. Help to rejuvenate you from some of the stuff that you've been dealing with. And take your shower, take your bath, enjoy the water. It's another easy thing to do and incorporate into your day, because as you're fluffing your towels and as you're getting the temperature to the right temperature for you, you can simply ask any and all high vibrational beings, can you help? You don't even have to go in and explain. The minute you say that, you break down the law of free will and, well, you've got extra support. And all you have to do, normal shower, normal bath, and then just get out like normal. We don't have to work harder. We just need to work smarter. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me in this exploration of the full buck moon. Nothing to be afraid of, lots to connect in with, that passion, that internal fire, if you will. Let me know, guys, what you guys thought and what you're excited for. How are you going to light that internal fire and connect into some of these passion pieces that are very much coming up for you? And like always, my friends, if you haven't done so, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, do all the things so that you don't miss anything that I post. Because tomorrow and every Tuesday, I'm going to be posting tools. And I have for the last almost 5 years. So there's lots of supports here. And if you're looking for an added layer of support, I do have a Patreon community. I've put a link below so you can go check it out. Again, I want to thank you for exploring the full buck moon with me. And I hope that you're able to shift out of the gunk and into that passion. Until tomorrow, my friends.